Hey friends, welcome to this practice called Ease Into It. Intended for you on a day that you know a little movement and breath will be of benefit, but you're just kind of having a hard time getting into the swing of it. We're going to start nice and simple in a comfortable seat. So find your way into a position that feels good for you, and we'll take a couple of moments to drop in. Drop your eyes. Take a couple of easy breaths. Locate yourself here. Recognize what the inhale feels like as it comes to fill you up. What the exhale feels like as you let it go. Let the breath be easy and natural without having to shape it too much. And if the natural thing is to let it deepen and let it expand, then be curious about that and let that be. See if you can notice a sound quality on the breath at all. And if you have curiosity toward that, consider bringing just a really, really soft constriction into the base of your throat that will help to move the breath out in a slow and even fashion. And keep your hands rested easily on your lap if that feels good to you. Or if you'd like to join me, bring a hand up towards your heart, or even palms pressed together at the center of your heart. Consider capturing a single, simple word for yourself. A single word intention that you might keep with you as you move. It might help you to have direction to unlock where it is that you're going. Just giving yourself space to ease into this. Use your exhale to release your hand or hands if you've lifted. And then with eyes open or closed, we're going to use an inhale to slowly lift and circle the shoulders back. Start to press your heart forward and lift your chin slightly up. And then as you exhale, slide your hands forward on your knees, hammock your belly, and let your chin fall towards your chest. And again, inhale, roll forward on your sits bones, roll your chest open, shoulders back, lift your chin if it feels okay. And then exhale, seated cat pose, press the space between your shoulder blades away behind you, chin into chest, hammock your belly. We're going to do 3 more like this. Inhale to take a soft arc open. And an exhale to round the back, hang the head. Follow the call of your own breath as you move. Get curious about how it is that the breath can help you slide through both sides. Inhale, come to sit yourself up really nice and tall again. And let's exhale to bring fingertips down to the floor. I like my fingertips to help me sit to the tallest height, so really feel grounding of sits bones that will help you ascend the spine. And when your inhale comes, sweep your arms all the way up. When your exhale comes, bend your elbows and see about clasping opposite forearm or opposite wrist overhead. Take a big inhale and feel a lift of your side waist. And then with an exhale, we're going to tip ever so softly over toward the right. I'll mirror you for this beginning portion. Inhale, lift back up through center, and exhale a little bit over to the left. Follow your breath with this. So we'll inhale through center and exhale away. You can direct your gaze up under your opposite tricep, or you could just keep the head looking forward. We'll do 1 more each side. Inhale through center and exhale away. Inhaling through center and exhaling away. Last time. When your exhale comes, swim your hands all the way down to the sides. We're going to turn our body over and meet in a tabletop pose. Find a way to make your tabletop comfortable. So any friends who have things going on in your wrists, you could always place blocks under your hands, hanging the back of the wrist creases, or create finger stands so that you're higher on tents of your hands. We're going to start to circulate our body in a rolling barrel roll fashion. I had a teacher who once said, envision your body inside a barrel, and you're trying to touch all the inner edges of the barrel with your body as you slink from side to side, belly hanging and spine lifting. And depending on how this feels in your body, you could welcome yourself to make it even more free flow, so that maybe it comes into your neck, your shoulders, your tail. Examine how it is that your breath and your body can work together as you find these spirals. And at some point, invite yourself to come back to center if that doesn't naturally happen, and go the other way. And you can welcome yourself to change directions as many times as this feels right to you. We're going to stay for about 3 more breaths. And when you're ready, move your way back into a central place where you can open knees a bit wider, sit your hips down toward your heels, and rest slowly into a variation of child's pose. Now, I use the word rest lightly. I know this posture isn't restful for all of us, so you're just gonna work yourself into the depth of the pose that makes sense to you, feels right to you. You can always welcome yourself to keep hips higher or slide something in under the front of your ankle. And we're just going to breathe some space around the back edges of our rib cage into the space of our low back body for 3 breaths. If elbows are bent and the head is cradled, work on extending the arms forward so your hands come out in front of you, and then inhale yourself back up to a tabletop pose. We're going to ease our way in to the next posture as well by keeping hips stacked over knees and stretching arms forward in a variation of a puppy dog pose. Now, ideally, we're going to get a nice, long, spacious stretch along the crest of the top of our shoulders, a stretch all the way from the beds of our hands, the palms of our hands, back to our tailbone. For some of us, it might be really kind to bring a block or something else out in front of us so our foreheads has something to rest to. Some of us, it's going to be okay to hang the head through the upper arms, and some of us quite naturally are going to find that the head can easily come down to the floor. Wherever you are, please just breathe 2 more big breaths. Great, and then friends have a choice to stay there, to return to the child's pose, or to spread fingers open really nice and wide, tuck your toes, and lift your bum up high for a downward facing dog. And then when you get here, please just explore it. Give yourself permission to pedal and play and sweep your hips around a bit, to bend both knees together or straighten the legs to see where the pull is, whatever makes the most sense to you. We're going to take 3 long full breaths, intending to really stay grounded through the inner finger pads and the inner knuckles. Friends that are in child's pose or puppy dog pose, please meet us at the top of the mat in the way that makes the most sense to you. And friends in downward dog, we're going to just look up toward our hands and take a slow walk all the way to the top of the mat. Great. Take a big flex into your knees and hang the upper body over the legs. Some of us will easily touch the floor. Some of us will find that arms are just hanging in space. One isn't better than the other. Just consider how it is that it feels in your back and it feels in the back of the legs. And don't be shy to give yourself more forgiveness by bending into the knees more if that serves you. Breathe a big breath into the low back body. You feel the grounding of all 4 corners of your feet. That means pick up your toes and release them if that helps you locate those. And when your inhale comes, roll up really nice and slow. Exhale to take your shoulders back and down. Stand in a way that you feel sturdy and supported. I like my feet as wide as my hips. If you like feet together, that's yours to explore. Stand in a way that you can feel the grounding of your feet and the heightening of your body all the way through your strong legs into your strong center, relaxing your shoulders down out of your ears and lifting through the crown of your head. I like to spin my palms softly forward, really helping to give a little bit of rotation to the arm bone and the shoulders, broadening through the space of the front of the chest. And then just take an easy full body breath here that feels empowering and bright. When your inhale comes, take a big old stretch, arms up to the sky. And then when your exhale comes, flex through your knees and bow back down. Halfway up with an inhale, stretch your chest forward from your tail. Stretch your neck long, shoulders back. And then exhale, take a simple fold. Touch the floor and really nice and slow step your right foot back. I'm going to invite you to lower the knee to the ground. If you happen to have blocks, go ahead and consider using them. Place a block under your right hand. Fingertips to the floor is just fine. You could also use something that isn't a block to serve as the block. And with a slow inhale, reach left arm all the way up. If that doesn't feel good in the left shoulder, no problem. Left hand back onto the thigh bone is a great place to explore. Or you could even play with the direction of where it is that you reach the left arm so that you get a spaciousness without any pinching anywhere, without anything that doesn't feel great. You can even consider moving your right hand further away from you so there's a little bit more space to roll open. Make it yours. We're going to breathe 3 more big breaths. Good. When your exhale comes, both hands are going to come down to the mat. I'm going to grab onto my second block here. We're going to pull our hips back and try to extend our whole left leg forward. Pull up through the space of your breastbone. The second that I do that, I feel a little bit of a lightning strip coming down the back of my left leg. So we're going to get a big old stretch through the space of the back of our left leg, but also a lengthening to the space of low back. Some of us love to allow the upper body to curl forward on the leg. If that's your jam, go for it. Breathe wherever it is that you're feeling a heightening sensation. Celebrate the fact that those heightening sensations mean you are alive and well. Ease your way into this for 1 more. Good. When your exhale comes, we're going to re-bend through our front knee. Both hands, and if you have them, both blocks, are going to come to the inside edge. You're going to walk your left foot further over toward the left side. I like mine on a bit of a diagonal. You're free to explore how it is that it feels best in your hip socket to either point the toes forward or start to spin the foot away on a bit of a diagonal. And you can welcome yourself even to pulse and find a depth that feels manageable and sustainable and something that you might drink in for a couple of moments. High on hands is a wonderful variation of this posture, as is lowering down, maybe meeting the support of your blocks, or maybe deciding to bring elbows all the way to the floor. And breathe in deeply here. Some of us even like to kind of come back to marry a bit of a variation of the twisted lunge we were doing before at more depth here, so you could welcome that should it feel good. Just breathing and making space. Couple more breaths. Great. From here, we're back up onto hands. If you have blocks, go ahead and just pop those off toward the side. Hands are going to come down to the floor, and we're going to take our front foot, our left foot, and sweep it all the way back around so we arrive back into our tabletop pose. With an inhale, dropping belly, rolling chest open. Lift your gaze if it feels good. When your exhale comes, push the floor away and round. We're going to do that 1 more time. Big inhale, lift the chest. And soft exhale, push the floor away and round. From here, drawing ourselves back into a neutralized spine, you're going to take your right foot and sweep it off onto the floor beside you. So right toes are facing forward. Right hand is going to come a little, left hand is going to come a little further forward of our left shoulder. And with a slow inhale, we're going to lift the right arm up toward the sky. So opening our whole chest toward the right leg. As you exhale, you're going to come down. I like to take a little sweep of my fingers under my left armpit, and then inhale, roll your chest back open. Let's do this 3 times. Exhale to come down and sweep. Inhale to come open. Exhale to come down and sweep. Inhale to come open. Exhale to come down and sweep. We have one more. Inhale to come open. Exhale coming all the way down, hands coming back under shoulders. Both knees working back under hips. It might feel really good to take a little swish of the hips side to side. Choices, 3 choices. Choose your own adventure. You either draw hips back toward heels to a child's pose, keep hips stacked over knees, stretch arms forward, forehead starting to send down to hands, to blocks, to the mat, puppy dog, or tuck your toes. Send your hands into the mat about a foot in front of your shoulders and lift hips up really nice and high, downward facing dog. And just breathe where you are and feel that out. One more, really feeling the press of our hands and the lift of our tail for friends in down dog. Great. However it makes the most sense to you, particularly friends in child's pose and puppy dog, work your way back up onto feet and make your way to the front of the mat, friends in down dog. See about just walking. See about walking feet toward hands at the front, grounding your feet into the mat beneath your hips, flexing through your knees a lot. And when your inhale comes, roll up to stand. Let our exhale take our shoulders back and down. Follow your breath, riding your own wave. Inhale to lift arms up. Exhale to take a slow sweep all the way down, forward fold. Halfway up with an inhale, lift and lengthen your chest forward. Simple fold. Same from here, fingertips to ground to the mat, left foot steps back. We're gonna go ahead and bring our left knee down. If you're using blocks, go ahead and bring a block over toward the left side. Left hand stays under the shoulder, so flattened on the mat, tented up onto fingers onto the block. And with a slow inhale, we're starting to lift right arm up toward the sky. Same invitation, so hand onto the hip or hand onto the thigh can be a great way to just keep us a bit more supported in this lunge pose. You could also work your arm back behind you instead of lifting it straight up if it feels like too much pressure in the shoulder anywhere. And for some of us, I even like to move my block a little bit further off the mat so I have more room to lean back, making space where it is that your body needs space in your individual body. Breathe there. Good. When your exhale comes, we're going to bring hands down to the mat or to your blocks as I am. Pull your hips back, make some space through your right leg by kicking your heel forward. So ideally, leg comes towards straight. It doesn't have to be poker straight, straightening. Straight to the point that you're starting to get a stretch through the back of the leg, and you can start to pull and lift your heart towards your toes. And generally, that's going to keep a little bit of length in your low back and keep that space of the low back nice and safe as we stretch into these pesky tighter places bound in the body. Easing into the breath, easing into the entire experience of this posture. Let's take one more here together. Good. When your exhale comes, let's bring ourselves forward. Both hands or both blocks, whatever it is that's working for you, comes to the inner edge of the front foot. Your right foot's going to work its way off toward the edge of the mat. Again, I like mine in a diagonal. You go ahead and play with what feels best for you. You can keep yourself up high. You can bob and pulse through the hips to try to find that sweet pocket. Some of us like to work ourselves all the way down. Some of us even like to come back into that little half twist. So if that feels good, you can welcome that too. A couple more long, full breaths. Up onto hands again, leaning a bit toward the left so we can sweep our whole right leg back and around. Blocks are going to come off the mat, hands are going to stand down under the shoulders. Then inhale, drop the weight of your belly, carve your heart open. When your exhale comes, push the floor away and round. Good, let's ride that wave again, stay with it. Inhale to open. Wide spread of the fingers, push the floor away and round. Good, inhale, starts to bring us back to a neutralized place. You're going to take your left leg, send it off with the left foot on the floor, toes facing forward. Right hand's going to come a little bit further forward of your right shoulder, and with an inhale, you're going to spiral open to the left arm up to the sky. Let's stay with the flow of our breath. So When your next exhale comes, we're gonna bring these left fingertips down, sweep. I like to come all the way under my right armpit. Inhale, lift all the way up. Stay with your own breath. Exhale to sweep. Inhale to lift. 2 more. And again. And a final time. Good. When your exhale comes down, hands are going to come in under your shoulders. You're going to bend enough so that you can bring your left knee in beneath you. It might feel really good to sweep and sway. And then however it is that it makes the most sense to you. So some of us will just slither. Some of us are going to want to bring ourselves into a low plank position. Some of us want a little spice. You can tuck your toes, lift your knees. We're going to come all the way down onto our belly. When you get onto your belly, please spider your hands off the mat. Commit the front edge of your pelvis down and toward the floor. Muscularly press the top of your feet down into the floor and wait for your inhale to lift your chest up. Draw your shoulder blades down from your ears. When your exhale comes, bow sweetly to the mat. Don't do it so quickly that you feel like face is going to make connection with the mat. Let's stay in these pulses. 3 more. Inhale to lift. Feel a squeeze of your legs to support your back body. Exhale, release. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to release. 1 more time. And a slow release. Hands come in under shoulders. Lift yourself up through a table. I'm going to widen my knees quite a bit, and we're going to try to find comfort in that child's pose once again. Same invitation as the very beginning. Make it yours. So if you need a pillow or a hand pillow or something in under ankles or knees, please just make it something that can be inviting and bearable, if not uber comfortable. We'll be here for a few long breaths. Take your time to connect the hands to the mat and sit yourself up really nice and slow. We're going to kick feet off toward the side and lower yourself down onto your back body. When you get onto your back body, do anything that you have to do to allow back body to rest to the mat. So again, really make this comfortable, make it yours. When it feels right, bend both knees if they aren't already. Walk your feet in towards your sits bones and lift and cross your right ankle to the top of your left knee. And then check in to see how it feels. And if there is, for any reason, anything in your knee or your hip that says this is plenty, then really respect and listen to that. If it feels available, you're going to take a bind of your left thigh. So using your hands or even using a strap or a belt, hands wrapping around the thigh bone and holding the back edge of the thigh. From here, the invitation is to consider kicking your left foot up toward the ceiling. So we're starting to get a little space through the back of the left leg, as well as a little juiciness into the right hip. Again, just notice what the sensations are and see if you can breathe fully and deeply and easily. And stay with the breath for 3. When your exhale comes, you're going to bend through your left knee. Let go of your bind, but keep your ankle crossed. Stretch your arms open wide in a capital T, and then use your left foot to pop your hips over a bit toward the right. You're going to twist knees and legs over toward the left. So I currently still have my right ankle crossed to the top of my left knee. Choices. Keep it there, obviously, or uncross it completely where the right knee falls onto the left. Additionally, slide the legs together so that we're in more of a full cross. So now the knees are nested right over left. And definitely feel free to grab onto your props and extra things that might come under the knees or between the knees to aid anything that feels like it's almost there, just not quite there. Breathe wherever you are for just a couple more breaths. And allow the weight of the body to descend without having to necessarily muscularly hold anything. So this is the place that we start to fall to a little bit more depth and a little bit more surrender. We're going to take 2 more full body breaths. When your inhale comes, we're slowly lifting knees up through the center, uncross anywhere along the path if you're still crossed, and then change sides so that your left ankle can cross over right knee. And again, a loving pause just to see. If it feels right, thread the needle by drawing your thigh bone towards you, and holding on to the outer edge of the thigh or the back of the thigh if that's possible. Huge invitation to use a strap or use a belt so that your arms have access while still keeping your head and your shoulders rested back and down. This keeps a nice neutral space for the spine, nice and neutral space for the shoulders. Layer on if it serves you by kicking the sole of the right foot up toward the ceiling. And notice the little micro movements that can help you either give a little ease or give a little depth. So whatever it is that's going to serve you, either raising the hands up the legs so that we're getting a little bit more depth into the hip and into the hamstring, or backing off. Last big breath here. Okay, when your exhale comes, rebend the knee, keep ankle crossed onto the top of knee, send arms wide. And again, we're going to move our hips a little over to the left side as knees and crossed ankle fall over to the right. Definitely welcome yourself to nest the knees, furthering that cross, uncross entirely, prop something, make it something that feels good to drop into, to ease yourself into in this moment. Drawing awareness through every layer of your body for 1 more full body breath here. And then with an inhale, lifting your knees back up through center, uncross anywhere along the path that makes sense. Recenter the hips under the shoulders and then give yourself a soft hug. So knees coming in toward the center of the belly, feeling the space of your low back press into the floor. It might even feel good to peel your head and your shoulders up off the mat, like you're drawing your nose towards your knees. Lay your head and your shoulders back down if you've lifted them, and we're just going to stir a couple easy circles. So the steering originates from hands to the top of kneecaps and translates all the way down to the base of the back of the hips and the pelvis. Go in a single direction or both directions if it serves you. I welcome you to get curious about going both ways. Stay here simple like this, knees towards you, or slide your hands down your shins, parting knees wide, pressing soles of the feet together, creating a bit of a diamond shape for a last breath or 2. And then when your exhale comes, kick your legs long down the mat. Full invitation, of course, to grab any creature comfort that might assist you to find a moment of relaxation and release here. Welcoming ourselves into the shape of Savasana should be easy, but for many of us, it is the hardest part. So see if you can give yourself these last couple of moments. I promise it won't be too long, and just ease into the shape of rested stillness. Start a body scan from your feet all the way up through your legs, through your hips and glutes, through your belly and back, low back, mid back, upper back, into your shoulders, into your chest, through your arm, to your hand, up the length of your neck to your head, the cradle of the back of your head. And just notice the weight of you inviting it to sink here and to rest. Even the smallest bits of movement and intentional breath, intentional movement and intentional breath can be so hugely beneficial. Keeping intention in mind for ourselves as we enjoy a last minute of rest. If you have more time to rest, please do. Please stay with it. And if from here you move on to the next layer of your day, I hope you do it bringing a little bit of space, a little bit of vibrancy with you. That easing into the practice helps with easing into whatever it is that is necessary next. Thank you for being here. Namaste.